Colorado. He trains Rose Namajunas.
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman.
Rose Namajunas.
Do you love her?
I love her.
I love her too.
I love all the USC female fighters. That's why I want my daughter to know how to know all of that stuff.
That'd be cool, huh?
When she meets a creep like you, she could choke you out.
Bro, I'm gonna say something right. You walked up this fucking
Why
drive.
are you pointing at me? I came over here during rush hour to do
I
your
understand
podcast.
that, and I'm grateful that you're here.
Nothing but a red line the whole way over here.
Your girlfriend or wife's, you know, their friends give you pressure. Like, what are you going to get her?
Yeah.
What are you going to get her? It's like, I don't know. What is she going to get me?
Yeah.
She's going to get me a flat screen? No, it's ridiculous. The pandering you have to do. No, it's like, am I in some third world country? I got to buy off the corrupt dictator here? Like,
about the military that got people so mad, or this one guy so mad.
I was just saying, like, yeah, the guy who flies the fighter jet, okay, and has missiles shot at him, that guy's a hero. However, if you're the guy that, like, points in the direction that the plane takes off in, you know what I mean?
You have 9 different positions since you've started this sentence.
Yeah, because I've been training with Trevor Whitman.
Oh, yeah.
With my footwork.
Yeah. Oh, Trevor Whitman. Oh, my God.
Do you know him?
No. The deepest couch in sports entertainment.
A lot of people think that they're uncomfortable with my elevation. Are you uncomfortable with it?
No, I just see all of your insecurities.
Your
giant desk.
While people are talking about eating fake.
That was before.
I don't want to be responsible for that shit. I didn't. But if the kid was in the fucking building.
Before. Will you shut up? Jesus fucking Christ.
At some point, I was going to make a point here. That's why I keep looking at here, and I just realize I'm blocking myself out of the camera. I love that you have the jib camera for this, like it's an action movie. Let's swoop in at these two guys sitting in these unbelievably small chairs. I literally feel like I'm going to fall onto the floor. This is insane. You really went all out with the audience, though. They got full-size adult chairs. Are these like from the 20s before they had like horse tranquilizers in our food when everybody was like 5'1"? Yeah, I thought you were laughing. You were fucking yawning over here.
No, the mushrooms are fucking killing me, man.
I knew it wasn't just weed. I was just like, there's no way I'm taking a hit off of that. There's something going on here.
Mushrooms, baby. The shrooms. I'm shrooming.
You know how fucked up this is? He's shrooming, and he's wearing pants like he went riding a horse today. Like side saddle or some shit.
Really? Is that you in action, or is this another photo shoot?
Yeah, it's a photo shoot. People do photo shoots.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever seen like a movie poster and you'll see a movie star who's clearly 5'2", yet somehow he's as tall as the supermodel?
I have.
Yeah, that's a photo shoot. And they fix stuff. Look, I'm sorry you're just on the web, man. He took it to this place. I'm not trying to shit on his website. What is it called again? Huh? Zippitydoodah.com?
So are you in the process? I cannot get comfortable in this fucking chair. This is just like one of the worst things. This should be like in a museum, is like the prototype. This is what, this was the awful level of comfort. We went from a log to this, and then eventually they got cushions. It's another guy looking at his phone. I swear to God. Dude, the day Jesus comes back, if he ever does, if he's even a real person, like 90% of people are going to miss it. They're going to walk right. He's going to be walking on water, and they're immediately walking by him. They're not even going to see it.
A lot coming from the Hillary Clinton camp that Trump is bad for children. And they had a lot of ads that said, you know, children are watching this guy
Oh, we all know
talk.
that children 5 and 6 years old are always tuning into the debates. Taking notes. That's what I did when I was a kid. I'll never forget that. Oh, there we go. No, but now this is like the ego one. Now I'm going to be sitting above you. Yeah, you got to come with two. It's fine. It's fine. Sir, the one comedy through line that's working here is me shitting on this chair. Why would you take that from me? You're just totally going against the grain. I understand it. But you got on camera, so I think you get paid, even though this is online. And then also, you can't tell other people's kids not to do stuff.
Right.
So you got to kind of like be loudly like, hey, he's climbing up on the utility pole, and kind of hope that somebody does something. Well, back in the day, you could yell at people's kids, and I think that needs to come back, and that's what's holding back this country.
Yeah. You really are the whitest person I've ever seen in my life.
Yes. served me well. I've never worked for anything. Yeah, I was born on a yacht. It's just all been downhill.
I don't even mean it in. I don't mean it in a genetic way. I mean like.
I do.
You.
I'm talking full-on white privilege. I was stunned when I first heard about white privilege. I had no idea what it was. It's like, hey, everybody doesn't get to do this.
It seems as if the sun
Pulling
has
up
never
to job
touched you.
interviews right as I get out of the car. You're hired. Go home. We'll see you tomorrow.
My ink. I have this mic on, so.
Yeah, that's all right.
Be a gentleman and help me out with my question.
Hey, Cody, can you believe that marriage didn't work out? Gee, I can't believe your relationships don't work out.
There's the hardest job out there.
Most difficult job, and Oprah said that.
Oprah said that, yeah. Has your opinion on that phrase changed at all since you've had a kid?
No. It's not the most difficult job on the planet. It just isn't. Dude, I did roofing in July. As a redhead, I almost died. There's people that work on like oil. What was that movie that guy made? The oil, the fucking, they
There
drill
Will Be Blood?
oil. What is it?
There Will Be Blood?
There Will Be Blood. The out in the ocean, they would drill. I can never remember the names.
Deepwater.
Mark Wahlberg was in it.
Deepwater Horizon, yeah.
Those guys were working on an oil rig. The fucking thing blows up. They're on fire. They got to jump into water that's on fire. Salty water into their wounds. You got to swim out of that oil and fire and then tread water, praying to God that the Coast Guard is going to get there before the sharks do. Now talk to me about a toddler. Oh, he was so fussy today. He wouldn't eat his peas. Yeah, and just the level of reward that is, as annoying as a kid is, like they smile at you and it's over. It's over. So, I mean, you don't get that, working on an oil rig when your buddy's greasy face lights up. You know what? It really is all worth it.
So your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
Yes,
least
and I
two
wanted to
episodes.
talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
I'm telling you, you need to Google.
Oh, good Lord.
So did you feel you were being
some...
disrespectful, or just you were just having fun with some of the crucifixes and stuff like that?
I don't even know what I mean, we did maybe 2 jokes about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
You know what? Technically,
they just sort of kept moving them around. Like those killer whales at SeaWorld. After it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
all right, I'm not totally following, but I don't think I want to.
You know what I'm talking about? It's a morning show. I understand.
I
came on. That kid missed the graduation, and then it was a feel-good story.
It was a feel-good, and we want to leave.
If you want to feel good about America, you watch the morning shows. You don't watch this, We were joking earlier. If that kid's story about the graduation was late night, that would have been a whole different story.
What do you think?
He's still missing. We can't find him. All we found was his hat. But you watch in the morning. It's great. It all worked out. He got his own personal graduation. Like, I was in such a great mood. Look how yellow this couch is. It's like the sun.
I didn't think Lance owed anybody. He didn't do anything to me. You know what he did for me? He raised $500 million for cancer research. That's what that lie did. Yeah. That was great. And everybody had the bands on. Remember the bands?
Sure.
Right? That blocked out the sun, right?
It wasn't to block out the sun.
No risk cancer?
Yeah.
Now, the whole thing was annoying, and I hated how Oprah was interviewing him and acting like she was dumbfounded that this guy would do this. Like, she's been in show business for 35 years, and she can't, wrap her head around some guy doing whatever it takes to get to the next level. Didn't she, for the first 5 years, have, midgets who wanted to bang their mailman's boyfriend? And she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it, but she didn't have the power to say no, so she wrote it out. And then when she could make a good decision, she did a show. But she stood on the heads of those little people for 5 years until she got... And then she's sitting there across from this guy so how could you... You know exactly what he's doing.
Are you with your girlfriend living in LA?
Yes, I am.
I'm technically married, but I'm married how like I want to be married.
Yeah.
Which is I don't sign that behind the music contract where, you know, everything works out until it doesn't work out. Yeah. No, you see Sugar Shane Mosley, one of the greatest boxers of all time, he's losing his championship belt in a divorce. Losing, yeah. It's like you're trying to break a man. Why does she want those? Right?
Break a man.
They go with their shoes. You know? No, and I love how when you get a divorce, all of a sudden it costs like 50 grand a month to give a kid Fruit Loops. Right? These guys, I'm telling you, there is an epidemic of gold-digging whores in this country, and it is just not being addressed on any level.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about? Every guy out there is just getting, nobody's safe. Oh my God, nobody's safe. Football players, actors, politicians.
Nobody's
and they never
safe.
get called whores. Arnold Schwarzenegger's maid is still called the maid in the story. She knew his wife on a first name basis, hooked up with this dude in their bed, and is still called the maid. Why did she bang him? Why?
Yeah.
Because of that 1987 flat top he's still rocking, right? You don't think it's because of that kindergarten cop money he's got laying around the room? I'm not, and listen, I'm not condoning what the man did, but you know, there just needs to be, guys need to be educated. There's nothing out there to help a guy handle becoming rich and famous for that platoon of whores that's gonna come over the hill. Like Braveheart, faces painted, skirt on, just running down the hill. Yes. There's nothing out there. No, it's like guys never learn how to keep themselves in check. Society does it for you.
Yeah.
Just women aren't going to bang you because you drive the forklift at Home Depot, right? Despite the fact that you want to bang all of them, they're not going to do it. So you didn't keep yourself in check. The forklift job did, right? Then all of a sudden you hit the lottery, you know?
Yeah.
And then you can just give in to all of that. Like, I'm so sick of all these trolls coming on TV, judging these great men. These great men, all these guys, anytime one of these guys gets caught for screwing around, these guys come waddling out of their cubicles with their jowls, their absolutely reprehensible behavior. Like, they have any idea what it's like to be tempted at that level. You know?
Yeah.
As you walk over to your Ford Focus, are you really beating these women off of you? All those people who judge Tiger Woods? How many people here golf? When was the last time you walked off the 18th hole and there was a busload of Scandinavian women waiting to hump your brains out? And you're like, sorry, ladies.
They really have to come to it. I really hope all of you run into all those black people that you love so much here in Camden. I really hope that happens. I hope there's a line of all of you guys getting fucking carjacked and they take out their big black dicks and they just shove them right in your fucking mouths, each and every one of you, and somehow they just keep repeatedly coming right in your fucking eyeballs until it builds up so much that your eyes, they fucking crust over, you can't see shit, and somehow there's another dick in there for you to suck. 10 minutes left. Look at you, this is what you want. This is what you want. It's a fucking bunch of fucking losers. Fucking Rocky is your hero. The whole pride of your city is built around a fucking guy who doesn't even exist. You got fucking Joe Frazier is from there, but he's black, so you can't fucking deal with him. So you make a fucking statue for some 3-foot fucking Italian, you stupid Philly cheese eating fucking jackasses. I hope that cheese melts your fucking faces off. All of you collectively suck a fucking dick.
It's a great way to tap out from the news and just, you know, watch a game and get away from it. Now there's like all these causes are getting like attached to it. Like I was watching the World Series and I'm in the middle of watching the World Series and out of nowhere they have this moment, stand up to cancer. I'm watching a ball game and all of a sudden everybody stands up holding up a sign of somebody that they either know that's dying of cancer or died of it in the middle of the game. It's just like, what are you doing? I'm trying to watch a game here. You know, no, there's a time and a place. Look, I know somebody that has died of cancer. I would never go to the movies with you and in the middle of it hit pause and be like, oh, by the way, Conan, I know this guy. He died of cancer. It was horrific. I could have lifted him up off the sheet with 2 fingers. It was horrible. Hey, enjoy. Oh, by the way, I got molested when I was 9. Enjoy the...
Like, I dated this girl one time. She was, like, really into, like, women's issues. So we used to always have these dumbass arguments. Like, one time she came up to me and she goes, okay, explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. Yeah, that's why I get the $1 more an hour. Well, think about it. If there's a house fire, it's always women and children first. I got to stand there with, like, the back of my shirt on fire going, let's go, people, let's go, let's go. So that's how I look at it. No, it's a $1 an hour surcharge. That if something fucked up happens, either I can't leave or I got to, like, get in the way of it to give you a head start, like, rabid dog, run, honey, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out, like, yes, he does have a knife. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for first? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me? Bullets hurt me too. Why the fuck do I gotta stay in the vault? No, that's my point, man. Where are all the feminists in those situations? You know what I mean? You can't find them. There are no feminists in a house fire. That's a guarantee. You can take the most hardcore feminist, some chick right in your face, like, he's chauvinistic son of a bitch, little short, little haircut, the whole 9 yards, right? Second those flames break out, she's gonna twist those little hairs into pigtails. No, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. And leave you standing in a burning house like you're not flammable. You know, but I'm not a dick, though. I'm not saying I think a woman should make $1 less an hour to do the same job. All I'm saying is if you're going to make what I make when the boat sinks, you better be standing right there next to me, listen to that guy play the cello. Then you get the corner office. You get all the benefits or whatever.
I've been battling with my girlfriend a lot lately. She loves to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I love to watch her watch the Oprah Show. And then I wait for Oprah to say something that I don't agree with, and then I take it out on my girlfriend because I'm a jerk. So Oprah brings out her first guest, right? She gives her this huge intro. She's written a book, she's been in a movie, and she does the most difficult job on the planet. She's a mother. So immediately I look at my girlfriend, I'm like, really? Being a mother is the most difficult job on the planet? How many moms died on ice road truckers last season? You know, any moms get washed overboard on Deadliest Catch? No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but which job would you rather have? You want to scoop crabs up off the bottom of the ocean, hanging off some rusty tugboat, catching that trap to the back of your head every couple of weeks? Or you want to hang out in the sunshine with a couple of rugrats? You know, you can send them to bed anytime you want on some trumped-up charges. Yeah. Trumped-up charges, yeah, because you want to have a drink and watch The Price is Right. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe it is. Maybe it is the most difficult job. I mean, I thought roofing in the middle of July is a redhead. You know? I thought that was a difficult job. But evidently, these mothers, they're bending over at the waist, putting DVDs into DVD players. I don't know how they do it. How do they do it? Oh, the way they push that stroller with the round wheels. Yeah, and the baby in there. It's the most difficult job on the planet. Going to war, pinned down by a sniper. What a joke. It's a joke. You ever burp a baby and forget to put that towel up there? Oh, there's another shirt you gotta wash, right? Oh, yeah, lift with your knees and put it in that machine that does it for you. People, any job you can do in your pajamas is not difficult. Sure, it's draining, but come on, man. Being a stay-at-home mom, that's like my dream job. No boss, no time card, no taxes. You're off the grid. Hanging out all day, making grilled cheese sandwiches. Giving a puppet show, you dress like a dragon. Then some other adult comes home and gives you money. Yeah. Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know. A lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That's insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know. I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys. See you in 8 years. Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it. Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there at Comic-Con and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their Acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla. Tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you got to throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones. We did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay.
full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi. You think you're being healthy. You're eating your old rollerblades.
I'm becoming a psycho. I've realized that about myself. I am. I watch conspiracy theory and like slap fights till like 2 in the morning on YouTube, you know? Yeah, I start like piecing shit together. I'm becoming that guy. I'm like that guy, you know, you sit there, you're sitting there drinking in a bar and all, you know, some guy's cool, you're talking about the game, then all of a sudden he's just like, you know, there's no gold behind our currency. You realize that? You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Pick up your drink, just fucking walk away. Oh, that's what I'm becoming. Totally into conspiracy. That's why I think Barack Obama is going to win the election. I think they're going to let him win. Because they're in the process of bankrupting this country, and I think that they need a black guy to blame it on. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Dude, it'll totally feed into the rednecks. They'll be like, you see what happened? Dude, he's only half black. Well, that's the half that did it. That's what happened. I bet the white half was saying. That's what, you know, see, I'm just fucking losing people. I am. I just look at TV and nothing makes sense to me. I'm sick of them telling me shit is shocking that is completely obvious. Crocodile hunter dies. Oh, can you fucking... Yes, I can totally believe it. It's why I watched the show. I watched it every week because I knew eventually he was going to fucking die. And I wanted to see it. Right? Oh, like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left, you know, people are like, can you believe he left that racist message? It's like, dude, look at him. Look at him. Some redneck with a mullet down to his ass. He drives a pickup. He's got the gloves with the fingers cut off. Yeah, who would have thought he had a couple of fucked up ideas rolling around in his head, you know? Dude, you know what would have been shocking? If he could play the cello. That would have been shocking, right? Yeah, then you'd be sitting there like, God damn, look at Doc. Here it is. I thought he was some racist on his way to a steak and shake, and he's busting out a little Beethoven. God damn, I owe this guy an apology, you know? God, I'd love to see his iPod. I can't imagine the eclectic mix of music. This is how much time I spend alone on the road, man. I actually spent so much time alone on the road, actually like contemplated milk to the point I can't even fucking drink it anymore. I'm sitting there drinking, like, man, this stuff is great, tastes awesome, you know? Then I started thinking it comes out of the carton, and I just did the police work. It comes out of a cow, and I'm like, I am fucking suckling from another species. We have such a crazy relationship with cows. You ever think about that? No, you can nurse from it, you can eat it, right? You can tip it over when it's sleeping, but if you fuck it, you're going to jail. All right, I'm thinking about getting a dog, everybody. I am. No, I'm at the point. Nothing alive is dependent on me. I gotta get out of this tailspin, man. So I'm thinking about getting a dog. My girlfriend wants me to like adopt a dog. She's like, you want to adopt a dog? We should rescue one. You want to do that? I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, why not? I go, because I think a lot of those dogs, they're a little fucked in the head. Yeah, how do you think they ended up down there? It's like, dude, that's not a pet store. That's like doggy death row, all right? Why don't we just go to a prison and like adopt an inmate, and on the off chance that maybe they didn't commit the crime, you know, just roll the dice? Dude, fuck that. I want a brand new 2008 Bulldog, all right? I don't want some like 1995, half a Labrador. It's got part of its ear chewed off, you know? Every time I go to use the toaster, it starts freaking out. You know, because his last owner hung him from the ceiling fan every time the Jets didn't cover the over, you know? Dude, that is an animal. That thing could kill you. If a squirrel wanted to fuck me up, if it just started running at me, by the time I processed, like, is that a rat? Is that mechanical? By the time I figured it out, it would have ran up my leg and just taken chunks out of my ear. Then I got to tell that story for the rest of my life, sitting in a bar. Dude, what happened to you? A fucking squirrel, right? Never get laid again. That's what I'm saying, right? I get one of those crazy dogs, get up at like 3 in the morning to take a leak. Right, I'm shuffling to the bathroom, and that's the exact moment his previous owner used to come home shit-faced and beat the crap out of the dog, right? I got no clue. I'm just, sitting there shuffling to the bathroom.
Meanwhile, the dog's getting all amped up like, fuck this shit, man. I promised myself I wouldn't let this happen again, all right? It's time to man up, man up. Ah! It's flying at me. Takes a big chunk out of my neck. Then what? I'm laying on the ground bleeding. What are they going to do with the dog? They're going to take him right back down to the prison like some repeat offender, have like shackles on him and stuff. He's just sitting there hopping back in. We knew you'd be back. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Get me a milk bone, you know? Wheel him in like Hannibal Lecter with like that lampshade around his neck. I got to work on my temper, though. Something I really got to do. I let like the thoughts just spin away, you know? I was on a plane the other day. I actually had the urge to elbow an old lady in the face. It was like compelling. It was unbelievable. You know, when you go to get off a plane, there's like rules when you go to get off the plane, all right? It goes row by row by row. And this lady was all like, ooh, I'm 90. I get to cut everybody, right? So I'm competitive. I start fucking boxing her out, right? Start bringing down like the overhead luggage, you know? So she just starts like waddling around me. And all of a sudden I just feel my elbow like, dude, you're going to take this shit? This is ridiculous, man. The whole half of the plane is watching it. Come on, man. Come on, man. Dude, we got a wide open shot. Just real light. Poof. You know, I got to hit it that hard. And then you can play it off. I'm literally talking to my elbow like, dude, come on, man. We can't do this shit, all right? This chick's like 95 years old. We can't do it. And I thought I had my body under control. And she got like to right about there. And then I felt my foot like, dude, we could still trip her. We could still trip her. Just throwing that out.
I'm sick of Obama's wife. Yeah. This isn't some Republican rant either. It's just kind of first ladies in general. You know, I don't know what it is. All throughout my life, with each presidency, like these first ladies, they've just gotten more and more like chatty. You know, more and more chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Well, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house, okay? You call a plumber up. He shows up, and he goes, yeah, I think the leak's coming from the upstairs bathroom. We need to shut it up, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden his wife walks in, who isn't a plumber. And then goes, hey, you know, I'm actually thinking it's kind of pretty high. Wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude needs to shut his trap. I don't want to hear a word out of him. I want to hear from the president. You, sir, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair, redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, it blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do to get those girls back? Why don't you look across the dinner table? It's like, you see that guy? That is the leader of the free world. Tell him to pick up a phone, call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Hey, Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my mind. I mean, honestly, she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator. Just like that. Lateral move. That's like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback of the Rams. It's like, what, you hanging out? You just pick it up? I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this. You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. You know? Can you believe that? See that they do? That'll do something. That'll change things. How? How the is that going to change anything? Do you know what the president makes a year? The president makes $400,000 a year. That's it. He's trying to keep billionaires in line, making $400,000 a year. That's all he makes. He makes less than some people blogging on the internet. The president should have you money, right? He shouldn't be sitting there with his pockets turned inside. I need your help to get me the job, right? What do you guys all donate to the campaign? Is that what it is?
I'm at that age where everybody I know is getting married. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell do people keep getting married? You know what I mean? Isn't anybody looking at the stats? You know what I mean? 3 out of 4 marriages go right down the shitter, right? If you were going skydiving and they told you 3 out of 4 parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, fuck that, I'm not going. Like, I don't like those odds. I have a 75% chance of splatting on the ground. But there's something about getting married. People just have to do it, right? They're just like, is this the line to lose half my shit? Awesome. This is gonna be great. No, I'm just kidding. I love women. I'm just not compatible with them. No, they got too much energy for me. You notice I said they always have to be doing something. You know, like they can't like take a day off, you know? You can't have a day off when you have a girlfriend. They just like see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's fucking fill it up with shit. They just come at you with like one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no! But you can't say that. You got to keep her happy, right? So what do? You agree? Yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Why would you want to sleep in on a Sunday when you can go pay $52 for eggs? Now you're thinking. Then we can sit around and listen to your friends have moronic conversations about the eggs, you know, like, is that pesto? Is that pesto in your omelet? Oh, it's asparagus. It's asparagus. I thought it was pesto. I was dating this girl recently. She was like really into like women's issues, you know? Because women always go on TV, you know, they say all they want is to be treated exactly like guys. But if you listen to them, they don't. All they want is the good shit of being a guy. They're cherry picking. They look at a guy's life like it's like a buffet, right? Like you just can start picking out stuff, like same amount an hour, we'll take some of that. Pay for the movie, fuck that. You can keep that one, I don't like that one. This is nice, that's yucky, that's icky. Hey, come on, people, you can't choose. This girl gives me shit. She goes, well, why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. That's why I get the $1 more an hour. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out. Like, yes, he does have a knife. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me? You think I want to stay in the vault? Those 20 other sweaty guys sharing a bag of peanuts, you know? Praying to God I'm not the hostage who gets dragged out by the psycho with a gun to my head as he's asking the cops for a helicopter, which I know he's not going to get, right? I know he's not getting the helicopter. So now I got to make idle conversation with the 38 to my head going, dude, go for a rent-a-car. I think you should go for the rent-a-car. See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. They had no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know. Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. No, that's why I hated that movie, the Titanic. Every girl I meet thinks that movie's romantic. It's irritating. I think, that was really romantic, don't you think? It's like, no! It's a fucking horror film. And they're always like, why? I'm like, because all the guys died. See, you're watching it trying to relate, going, who would I be? You'd be that chick floating away in the big piece of luggage, right? I'm watching it going, who would I be? I'd be that dude when, like, the boat breaks in half, that dude who, like, falls straight down and bangs off the shit and goes in the water. That's who I'd be. I'd be wearing a tuxedo, not because I wanted to, but you wanted to dress up that night, right? I'd be falling the whole way down going, I should have fucked that chick in first class. All right, listen, I'm out of time. You guys are a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
It's been a tough week here, you know, for obvious reasons. We lost Norm Macdonald this week, which was just, you know, I had no idea that he was even sick. And he's a guy that I knew a little bit. I was definitely friendly with him. If we saw each other, we said hello and we shut the shit, but it wasn't like someone that I talked to on the phone or anything. And I was such a huge fan of his, and I would just always end up running into him. And he just always had that smile on his face. Like, as you talk to him, he would have that smile. Just a really great, warm guy. And I remember I was trying to think what Norm's story to tell you. This one isn't necessarily funny. It was just sort of random. I went out to go see Bill Cosby in concert right before all the bullshit happened out in Pasadena. And he played this theater out there, which interestingly enough was where they had the 25th anniversary of Motown celebration, which is the first place Michael Jackson publicly did the moonwalk. I saw Bill Cosby at that theater. And I remember they had it all set up where, like, they almost built him like a little living room. He had like an Archie Bunker type chair, a little square rug, and then like a side table where he put his water. And he just came walking out, and there was the mic. There was no mic stand. It was just sitting on the chair. And he just came out. You know how he kind of walked a little bent over? Came walking out, waved to everybody, sat down, picked up the mic, and for like almost 2 hours, just, you know, hour and a half, just killed. Just fucking killed. Had the crowd in the palm of his hand. Masterclass of stand-up, right? So I leave with my lovely wife, and I go out front. Who's standing there is Norm Macdonald. He was like, hey, Bill, hey, how you doing? And I talked. It was like, no, what's going on? I was so psyched that he knew my name and all of that stuff, and I think I had met him before. And then we just stood there talking about comedy and how amazing it was to see Bill Cosby and how good he still was. Like I said, this was before all the bullshit happened. And my admiration for the guys, it went even higher. That, you know, I understood why I was there, but I thought Norm was so good that he didn't need to be there. And he was still there, still trying to learn and everything. And I was thinking, like, wow, this is why this guy is so fucking amazing. And, you know, he's just was somebody that you couldn't just watch one video of him. Like, you know, I was saying to Verzi how, like, guys like Ric Flair, Norm Macdonald, there's a few people, if you click on their videos, it's like, say goodbye to the next 2 hours of your life, because everything that they did is so interesting and so different and so funny. And one of my favorite Norm Macdonald things that he ever did, you know, because so many people like pretend that they don't give a fuck, you know, both in my business and in other businesses. You got I don't give a fuck. Hey, you know me, I don't give a fuck. You know, those people that advertise them. Like, that guy clearly, in the best way, didn't give a fuck. He really cared about people and stuff, but like he did what he wanted to do. And when he was on SNL, how big a gig that was, because there was so few channels, the internet hadn't blown up yet, and even with basic cable and everything, I mean, it was still, if you were on Saturday Night Live and you were doing Weekend Update, it was one of the most coveted gigs a comedian could have, and you were part of this lineage of, you know, at that point it was, you know, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, right on through to Dennis Miller's reign when he did it. And did Colin Quinn come after? I think Colin came after, but it was always just like the best of the best comics that they had doing it, and continued on with Tina Fey and all of them. And no one's walking away from that job. And if some suit at NBC tells you they don't like the jokes you're doing and be funnier, you're shaking in your. I'd be like, oh fuck, I'm going to lose this big gig. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to piss these people off or whatever. I guess he was doing all those OJ jokes, and I forget how the story went. There was somebody there that knew OJ or something, and was telling Norm to back off and move on to something else. So what does Norm do? He just doubles down and he just does even more OJ jokes, which is like, the balls that took to do that. And he ended up losing the gig. He got fired. And people loved him and he was fucking hilarious, but he didn't back down to the big fucking guy over there, and he ended up losing the gig. So, as luck would have it, I think it was Dirty Work, came out like a year and a half later or so. So he has to promote it, and he's on the press thing. So Lorne has him back and has him host the show. And I remember he went out there, and his opening joke, he just comes out. And he was just like, something like this. Yeah, it's good to be back. I actually got fired from this show about a year and a half ago because they said I wasn't funny. And now here I am. I'm hosting the show. So that means one of two things. Either I got a lot funnier or this show sucks. And then he had that big shit-eating grin on his face, and he started laughing. And then he proceeded to do a bunch of OJ jokes. And it was just like that fucking thing about him. And the whole time, I just felt the whole time when people were fucking with him or whatever and trying to take what he had, he always just still had that smile on his face, and he just still did exactly what he wanted to do. And I have so much respect for him. And I feel so fortunate that I got to see him live. So I remember, oh my God, I saw him right after 9/11. The Aspen after 9/11. Aspen Comedy Festival was this big fucking festival that was always a nightmare to get in and out of. Every year it would snow and people would get stuck in Denver, or you get snowed in, you couldn't get out. It was a fucking nightmare. And then as a comedian, you had to perform. It was like a mile higher than fucking Denver, and no one could breathe. And you're performing in front of all these super fucking rich people in front of industry, and you just go up and you would eat your fucking balls, and you're like, why did I come out here? And I remember I saw Joe Rogan do a full set that I still remember, and then I saw Norm Macdonald. It was at the same theater, and I remember Norm came out, and he was doing bits on racial profiling and all of this stuff. I'm not going to butcher the guy's bits, but I remember just watching that full set, and I was like, this guy is one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen in my life. And I thought that every time I saw him. And I don't know, it was a pleasure to know the guy, even on a little level. Just a massive, massive, massive loss to not have him around. And especially now with all of this stupid fucking cancel culture horseshit that is going on, which has way, way, way overstepped its bounds, as it always happens. No matter who's behind it, it always ends up, starting off with something that makes sense, and then that becomes the overreach, and then it just becomes like, hey, is it me, or did you literally become what the fuck you were trying to stop? And we, I don't know, as a comedian, really needed a guy like Norm out there to be eviscerating it and making fun of it and still doing what the fuck you want to do. So if there's any other young comics out there, if you want to see how it's done, watch that guy, because he was the real deal.